Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. It is the 18th of January if you are listening live, and it's about 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to also welcome you to the show. I want to let you know that we're over in the chat room, and you can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number one, number two, radio.com and click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. So that's the way to find us. It is a private group, so you'll need to ask for entry. But my brilliant and talented producer Scott is standing by and he'll gladly let you in the room. So that's how it works. Oh, you guys. Oh, I should also say that I am live streaming this event. You can see that over on YouTube or Facebook via Domestic Mystic or Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. So easy enough to find. So want to say hi to Jane, JR, Renee, Tiffany. Welcome everybody. Pamela, Sid. I'm glad to see you guys all here. This the chat room looks like Facebook is updating slowly. So this happened to me last week during the show too. So anyway, I'm doing my best in the Facebook chat. The live stream chat looks great. Hey, Brooke, and hey, little Tot, my little one. Hey, Bianca. So at any rate, I'll do my best to keep an eye on all of the chat rooms. We have lots of ground to cover. Hey, Lillian, how you doing, love? Well, what did you think of that full moon? Did you sleep? It was so sleepless for me for 3 nights. One night in a hotel in Montana that it sucks when you can't sleep in a hotel because what else are you going to do? You know? If you can't sleep at home, maybe you'll get up and make a cup of tea, or maybe you'll watch TV for a while, or go get in your recliner or a different chair, or, do something different. But when you're in a hotel, this is always a challenge for me, partly because I wake up quite a bit earlier than, well, everyone else I travel with. And so I always have some bored hours in the morning with nothing to do, though I don't mind walking down and getting a cup of coffee and things like that by myself. But it's just, hey, Maureen and Quelly, but in a hotel when you can't sleep in the middle of the night, bleh. And there happened to be a wrestling tournament going on in the town we were in, and they had there was like no room at the inn. Every hotel was completely packed, and it was packed with families with kids, which is fine. I've been a family with kids, for a lot of years. But these kids, ay, ay, ay. I don't know if there was a toddler in the room above us or what, but I listened to little footprints run across that floor all night. They couldn't sleep either, apparently, and their parents definitely didn't. Or they did, maybe. That was the deal. But anyway, but then we got home and I have not slept for 2 nights or at home either. Just uncomfortable. Rico had me out of bed several times in the night, which is not like him. He'll get up once in the night to get a drink and go potty, and other than that, he sleeps all night. So yeah, I've been driving myself crazy. The dogs are driving me crazy. So I've been curious to know how you guys are doing. I've seen some other people say that it was very sleepless for them as well. So Brooke said she did not sleep. Oh, found down a rabbit hole and found all this info on Merkaba. Very cool. Well, see, there you go. You research, you study. That's what I did at like 4 o'clock in the morning in the hotel when I couldn't sleep. I opened up my phone. What else are you going to do? I don't know. Because, you don't want to be a jerk and turn on lights or, make noise that bothers people who clearly are able to sleep. So, yeah. Yes, Lilian, it was a gorgeous moon. Absolutely gorgeous. Agreed. Yep. Ah, yep. The little one didn't sleep either. Yeah. It has been super weird. Well, and we've had another tragedy at our house. On Thursday, we had to put our golden retriever down. Golden. You guys don't know as much about her because she's not one of my little babies. I mean, I loved her, don't get me wrong, but she wasn't, my little guy that I packed around with me for 16 years. But we adored her, and she had cancer, and she's had tumors up her side, like mammary cancer, breast cancer, for Oh, since about August, and we've been fighting with, I mean, knowing she was 12 years old, so knowing that, the end was coming, and 12 for a golden is long anyway, but she just, the last little while, it's just gotten bad, and honestly, I would have probably put her down a little sooner, but we lost Skippy, the day after Thanksgiving, and we were already just so heartbroken, and the thought of losing another one was just more than I could do, but last week I realized this is just so selfish on our part. She'd lost so much weight, and, because at some point the cancer just it takes all the food. And she wouldn't quit chewing open some of her tumors. And so we were constantly wrapping her up and taping her up and putting t-shirts on her and, trying to keep her out of it, but that made her uncomfortable too. And anyway, last week I finally told Scott I don't have the bandwidth to make an appointment and take her in, but it has to happen. So he made the appointment. I did. At the end of the day, I decided to go with. I decided that was just selfish of me and the wrong decision to not go and be there, and assist her. And so I did, and it was okay. But she had a great life, and she was a very, very cool dog. But it is how it goes. But to lose two, we've gone from a family of 5 dogs to 3 dogs, in 2 months. It's just, whew, I've had enough. I've had enough. But we kind of did what a lot of people do. We got a lot of our dogs close together. So all of our dogs are getting older. Our corgi is 13. Our basset corgi mix, Little Blue, she's 10, and Rico is 8. I mean, that's kind of what happens. And I'm ready. I'm just about ready to get a companion for Rico. Rico's really ready. He tries to play with Blue and they have a little fun, but he's just always been used to having a dog his size, to cuddle with and to spend time with. And my sister brought her Chihuahua, that's Rico's same age, that has always been his little pal, up last week. And when he saw Leo, his name's Leo, when he saw Leo come in the door, he cried, like cried and cried. And I went, okay, Rico needs a companion. We have a lot of travel coming up this spring, and I had been hesitant to get a puppy yet for that reason, but I don't know. But I what I want is a deer chihuahua, a puppy. And don't get me wrong, I think that rescuing is amazing. I've rescued a lot of dogs over the years. It won't be a rescue this time because of the pigs, because I need to be able to get, a puppy that grows up with the pigs so that we don't have aggression issues down the road. That's unfair to the pigs, and to all of us, including an animal that you could bring in and set them up for failure. So my plan at this point is to just watch and wait, because that's what I really want, is a male deer chihuahua puppy, and that's what I'll wait for, you know. So that's what Rico is, and I think another deer he would do really well with. And also, they are just the cutest, funniest little clowns. They're wonderful dogs. So, anyway, so that's what's new in my world. It sucks. I know. Thanks, you guys are so good to me. Uh, blah. Golden was Micah's dog. We got Golden for Micah when my mom died. And yeah, and so, but when he went on to college, he really couldn't take her with him. And then even as he got into housing where he could have a dog, he couldn't have her because she was too big. And so she's just always remained at home with us, and which has been no problem because she was a great dog. But it's what it is. So anyway, damn it. Yeah. At least with hers it wasn't a shock. Like, we knew this was coming. We'd just been toying with the decision of when do we do it. But she passed really easily, and our vet is wonderful. He's been our vet for the vet's office is literally around the corner from our house, and he's been taking care of our animals for 20 years. Like, I've known him forever, and he's wonderful. And he was, of course, really sweet with her and good to us, and like he always has been. So I think that makes it easier to have people, and They do a really kind thing in that office. They have a candle, an electric candle on the counter, and there's a sign there that says, "When this candle is lit, someone is saying goodbye. Please please be mindful," or something along those lines, which I think is really cool because then as people come in the office and maybe they're loud and rowdy or their animals are wild and they understand what's happening in one of the treatment rooms here so they can be a little bit empathetic, which I think is a pretty cool thing to do. So, yeah, there we go. Anyway, yeah. Oh, of course, Sid will always look after their babies. Yep. Well, little Blue is Mars's dog, and she worries about her so much when she goes. And Blue, she really feels her absence. She does. We have to really go out of our way to make sure that she's getting her needs met because she and Mars are inseparable when Mars is home and have been since Blue was born. So, yeah, there's a lot of a lot of taking care of everybody's feelings around here. Maureen said, "Oh, my sister had to put down her chocolate lab of 14 years 2 days after Thanksgiving. Callie had so much fun at Thanksgiving. My sister went back to the breeder and asked if they had any adults. She had a chocolate but suffered a knee tear. Oh, my sister was so sad, but then she called her and said, we have a 5-year-old female that is available in March. She's a red lab and her name is Foxy. Oh, my sister said yes, and this girl will be her spoiled beach queen. Oh, her previous dog was there, of course. Oh, that's so sweet, Maureen. I'm so happy. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that candle at the vet a sweet thing? I noticed it last time I was there and had said, that is, I love that you guys do this. This is a wonderful, what a wonderful thing to do. And then we ended up the ones in there with the candle lit. And it was a wonderful thing to do. Yeah. Well, let's move on to happier topics. I do have a little show and tell for you. So I put some pictures up in the chat room, but I'm going to show you some things here in the live stream too. We have been, not we, Scott has been making more tarot boards, and I shouldn't say we because it really is, it's his effort, not mine. uh, I'm putting links in the chat room for my Etsy store so that you can see them. And by the way, my entire Etsy store is 10% off through the end of this month. So if you've had your eye on something, I cut the price just a little. We have some big traveling coming up, and so I'm I have some travel goals in mind, some financial goals in mind. Okay, so this board isn't this cool? It's hard for me to show you. Know that you can see it. Okay, you can. All right. So it is another tarot board. This one is crystals that he filled with aquamarine resin. I was hoping they would look kind of like aqua aura quartz. I think they do. And isn't it pretty? Yeah, I absolutely love this. So obviously, the board lays flat and then the groove up in here, you stick your cards in. So if you do a daily reading for yourself or, even a weekly reading or whatnot, you buy the board and then you stick your cards up in it to display them so that you can keep an eye on them. Like my mom used to always do this and have cards stuck in the mirror of her dresser. But I think it's a fun idea. I also think these are kind of cool, like as a traveling altar. If you set up a little altar wherever you go, that you have this little board for your altar. Now this one has caused a bit of a skirmish in our home. It's a triple moon goddess. It's gorgeous. She's antique to the point that she's almost just a whisper in some spots, almost just a shadow. Scott loves her. I thought maybe she should be sanded out and remade, and Scott was like, no, she's perfect. She's like antiqued to the point that, like, this is the kind of thing you'd find in your grandma's attic, that's been used for a million years and well loved. And so we kept her just like this and just let her be perfect in every way. So they are both over in my Etsy store, which is Joyful Goddess Designs on Etsy. And if you guys have any interest in those, that's the way to go and find them and pick them up. I did put a link in the chat room. But again, my entire Etsy store is 10% off through the end of the month. So if there's anything you've been thinking about, this is a great time to pick it up. And I provide free shipping on most things. I think over $35 I have free shipping on everything. So that's also helpful. Yeah, Brooke agrees. She is perfect. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at Luminous. Yesterday was the full moon, of course. So we're going to do full moon fairy tale tarot. And of course, we also have our chapter from Kathleen's book to get to. So lots of good stuff today, but we'll take a peek in Luminous first. So, Luminous is the magazine that I publish every week along with the help of my friends. Now, you might have already received it this morning in your inbox or seen it on social media. I'm putting a link in the chat room, but you can also find it by just heading over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Luminous Magazine button. And while you're there, if you haven't already, sign up there's a pop up that'll come up first off, and that's the way to sign up for the Daily Dish. So if you haven't, the Domestic Mystics Daily Dish is a daily reading that I send out. The Daily Dish has been in operation now for 3.5 years, which means that I have now sent out more than 1,000 daily readings. Can you believe that? Crazy. I love it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and we'll take a look at Luminous. Okay. I have to admit that I use this cover every year. I love it. It's the frozen bubble. People that, like, if you're in a really, really cold place, colder than we're getting currently, you can go outside and blow bubbles and they will freeze like this. And I just think it's the coolest thing. Anyway, I've always wanted to do it, but we just haven't been that cold. So I can't complain about that really, but okay. I called the edition this week the Glow Up edition. So this is a term or a phrase that I hear from my kids, a glow up, like boosting up, a makeover, maybe getting better in something. They call that a glow up. So I thought, this is a week where I feel like we're going to see a lot of us like want to work on self, want to work on maybe on your house, beautifying, perfecting, taking care of something in some way. So I thought this was a good time for a glow up edition. So here we are. Okay, I posted 5 things your animal companions want you to know. This is an article I wrote a few years ago, but I think it's a really good reminder. And I'll let you read the whole article, but I'll just go over the 5 main points that your dogs and, all your animal companions want you to know. Your company is vital to us. We miss you when you're gone. We feel your emotions deeply. Never forget that. They are so dialed into what you feel. They know. They know what you're going through. They hate your cell phone. How often have you had your dog or your cat knock your cell phone on the floor or knock it out of your hands or lay on top of it? They hate it. If they were a rescue pet, they may always have some level of insecurity about whether or not this is their forever home. And I know that's crazy. No, I know lots and lots of dogs that are in really stable, wonderful situations that have been there for years that will still ask me if this is their forever home. So just always be cognizant of that. Always be aware that they may need a little extra reassurance from time to time because they will. And it's not because they don't love you and love their life and they're not happy. They are, but they've been through trauma at some point in their lives. And so just be aware of that, be respectful of that. Okay. Oh, I forgot number 5. Please stop setting us up to fail. This is one I talk to my clients about all the time. What does that mean? Well, don't expect more from them than they can offer. If this is a dog that has a separation anxiety that tends to chew stuff up when you're gone, crate them or take them with you. Don't just leave them loose, knowing that something like that could easily happen, that you're going to come home to shredded curtains or something. Why? Right? Give them an opportunity to have a better chance, right? Don't set them up to fail. If we're talking about a puppy that can't make it all the way through the night without going potty, you set your alarm and get up, or you crate them so that they have a safe place to be, so that if they potty, it's okay. And a million other things, right? If you have a cat that wants to get on the counter and lick the butter, quit leaving the butter out, right? Yes, we have to have behavior modification as well sometimes, but don't set your animals up to fail. Give them the very best chance to be successful. There's a lot of ways you can do that. And if you need some help doing that, call me and we'll talk about it and we'll figure out some strategies. But there's no reason why we can't make things work most of the time by doing things right. Yeah. Oh, Brooke said, and the moon goddess board has a home. Well, yay. I'm so happy it's going to you. Scott will be thrilled. Like I said, we scuffled over this one. And so he wins. I'm all for it. All right. Okay, and you can read the rest of that article, but I wanted to share my New Year's reading, of course. As you know, I'm doing them a little differently this year, having a ball with them. This year it is a Zoom reading, so you get to come too. I started dreading these readings. Once I do them, I was like, that's great. I love this. But for some reason, I wasn't vibing with them. And I realized it was because I was lonely in doing them. I needed you guys to be on board. So I decided this year we're doing them as a Zoom reading. So you come with, and we still do the reading very similar to years past, but you're there and you can give me some feedback and ask a question. And, you know, we can work on that together. But they're going beautifully. So it's just an email reading. I put a link up, but you can also find that link if you just head over to one2listen.com and click on my profile, Katie Weaver, and go to email readings and you'll find it there. So you purchase the reading and then I'll reach out to you and we'll schedule a time so that we can sit down together and get on Zoom together and have a face to face. Wonderful. And I'm loving it. So if you want a New Year's reading, this is how to do it. Easy enough. All right. Over at Planet Meditation, of course, we have lots of new meditations this week. My personal favorite is the Manifesting with the Honeybee meditation. Oh my gosh. Love it so much. Then Bitch Scopes with Kelly. So let's see what Kelly says about today. Today is the 18th. There's a ton of stuff going on. Holy moly. Uranus direct in Taurus unlocks our ability to be our authentic selves and feel secure about it. North node enters Taurus. South node enters Scorpio. Our global focus slowly shifts from communication, information, and beliefs to finances, values, security, and truth. Sun trine Ceres. Your loved ones benefit from your confidence and courage. Mercury in retrograde, sextile Chiron. Your intellectual gifts may offer insight into past wounds. And Sun trine North Node. Your goals and achievements are boosted. We'll take it. This is actually, that all feels pretty good, especially because the full moon was just pretty intense. It didn't feel very healing to me. So this feels a little better. All right, let's read Scorpio. The conflict you feel this week, if any, is very likely to be internal. Beliefs you inherited from your family may clash with what you have come to understand at this point in your life. There is a possibility for some intellectually based exchanges around this issue with family members, but most of the drama will be on your insides. This year, relationships are a focus for you. So if you're single, are you ready? Ooh, okay, Scorpions, there you go. Be sure and read your bitch scope. They're always awesome, and Kelly puts so much amazing energy into them. Love it. All right, my tip this week is a diffuser blend to clear your head. 3 drops of lemon essential oils, 3 drops of eucalyptus essential oils, and 3 drops of peppermint essential oils into your diffuser. And that's a great one to clear your head, to get you, you know, sharpened up. If you guys are like me, you might not be sharp. Uh, that's a really, really good one, actually, to just get get perked back up. Absolutely love it. Okay. I would only add that you could really put rosemary in that too and help provide your brain with some clarity because rosemary oil is amazing for your brain. Okay. The Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle reading this week from Christy is the Owl. So I'll let you watch that little video from her. The Magic Monday message from Melissa: Life is good with a filled passport. I read that as I was putting this in last night and I went, I don't even have a passport. I need to get my shit together, right? Scott's stepbrothers have been in Costa Rica with their families, and unfortunately, they are very they're COVID deniers and haven't vaccinated any of their family members, and so we've kind of kept some distance because I I can't take a weird chance on my health. But anyway, they went to Costa Rica and ended up testing positive and couldn't fly home, and they were staying in a like an Airbnb type house, both families, and they just kept infecting each other. Anyway, they ended up quarantining for 21 days in Costa Rica before they could come home. They just barely made it home yesterday. And they've been in Costa Rica since right after Christmas. Anyway, isn't that wild? Not blaming them, just saying, wow, yikes. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't have a passport, and I was thinking that's dumb because one of these days, boy, I really, really, really want to go to Scotland and Ireland. I've been to Ireland briefly, like for one afternoon. But ah, I'm gonna travel one of these days. Okay. All right. Our new article or our new uh, column is from Ginger. She's a new advisor over at One Two Listen, but you guys are very familiar with Ginger. She's been around the One Two world for a long time, and she is writing a Heart Happenings article. It's awesome. And she wrote a beautiful article this week about how to connect to the other side. So I hope you have a chance to read that. And as always, if you resonate with stuff you're reading or seeing in Luminous, let the author know. It's highly appreciated. All right, over at True Crime Paranormal, updates in the Crumbly case. This is the school shooter from Michigan. And oh, you guys, it's such an important case because this is the first time we've actually seen the parents get charged for not securing their weapon and also for seriously neglecting a mentally ill kid. We've never seen that happen before. And as much as a lot of people would like to see gun control and a lot of other people would not like to see gun control, if we're not going to, if we didn't change gun laws when Sandy Hook happened, we're never changing gun laws. But maybe charging the people who are helping these kids come into access of these guns, maybe that's a way to help cut back on school shootings. I have hope. So I followed this case really, really closely for that reason. And then the other case this last week, you guys, is so wild. This is a guy who faked his own death to avoid some federal fraud charges. And he's apparently been hiding out in Scotland after he pretended to die a couple of years ago. And the FBI didn't think he was dead. They didn't buy that. They've been looking for him. He's been an international fugitive. Well, he checked himself into a hospital in Glasgow uh, over Christmas or in December with a real bad case of the COVID and ended up on a ventilator. And by the time he got off the ventilator, his real identity had been figured out and there was an arrest warrant waiting for him. And they're in the process now. They're holding him in Scotland. He did recover from COVID, and now he's hanging out waiting to be extradited back to the States because he is a serial sex offender, as well as he's being charged with stealing something like $250,000 and defrauding a couple of people. So, anyway, it is a wild story with some crazy, crazy tips and turns. So, anyhow, if you love true crime, or even if you don't, that one's not too gory. It's not gory at all. It's just, it's pretty great, actually. All right. Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Archangel Ariel. I love that because she's well known for her protection of animals. And it's just been all about animal energy in my life for a bit here. So I thought that was perfect. And then Jamie Dawn has a brand new celestial wisdom video for us as well. So lots and lots of good stuff in Luminous. So I hope you find some things that resonate with you. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Oh, Kate says she does not have identification cards and documents. They creep her out. I know people are on the fence about stuff like that. I had a passport. I mean, I've traveled to Europe when I was in college, but I haven't had one in a long time. And Scott has never had a passport. And I think it's time to rectify that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Maureen said your 12-month reading was the bomb. And I was so surprised for the message from Kathleen's book. I miss her so much. Yeah. Love it. Love it, Maureen. I'm so happy we have it. I still have no idea who sent me her book. I hope they know how much I love them and appreciate them for that because we're just going to keep on using it. Yep. Kate said I'm just going to end up feral in the woods somewhere. I mean, there's worse things. Brooke, as a survivor of a school shooting, parents and school admin need to be held accountable for ignoring reports of mental health of kids. Agreed. Agreed. And in this case, there was a lot of it on both sides, parents and the school. He had been at school the week before with the head of a dead bird in a jar of liquid that he was showing people. Not that that means you're going to shoot up a school, but there'd been a lot of concerning behavior. He had even said to a friend on video that he was going to shoot up a school. I mean, it doesn't get more clear than that, does it? Yeah. Looks like the guy in Scotland had a soul contract to face the music instead of crossing over, says Sid. I guess, huh? He's such a scammer, you guys. He's kind of like a catch me if you can kind of character. Oh, it's wild. He's done a lot of scamming over the years. Yeah, the school staff did nothing. They knew. They knew. They had had a ton of heads up. Yeah. Well, and also when they finally brought him down to the office to talk to him before he shot the school up that day, when he was literally in the office having a meeting with the school staff and with his parents, he had that gun in his backpack and nobody searched his backpack. They didn't even bring the school security officer in. They had cops in the school that they didn't even involve in this meeting. And they're the ones that could have searched his backpack and, made sure that he was secure, and they didn't even invite them to that meeting. Yeah, there's a lot of negligence on this case all the way around, without a doubt. Hey, Pamela. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's important. It's setting a lot of precedent between that and the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Whee. That one is shaking stuff up, especially because now Prince Andrew, of course, is being sued by Virginia, who is one of the victims, and that has set a bunch of precedent also in the royal family. The royal family can't scuttle away from him fast enough right now. They should have done that a long time ago, but because this isn't the first time that he's been accused of being sexually improprietous, not even by a fraction. He's been accused of stuff like this his entire adult life. Yeah. Yeah, because a public school is a business and nothing interrupts business. It's true. It's true. Ugh. Anyway, there's going to be justice in this one, I think. Is there justice though? I mean, there's 4 dead kids. How much justice will there ever be? The kid who actually tried to bring him down, tried to tackle him, that was killed. He was a football player, and he wanted to play, I believe, for Michigan State. Anyway, both of the big colleges there have put him on their recruit list as a five-star recruit and honored his family, which I thought was pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah. JR said, I think Ghislaine Maxwell is getting ready to tell all. I do too, because there is that, there's this redacted list of eight, we believe, prominent men whose names have been protected throughout this entire proceeding. And she fought to protect their names back in 2017. And a couple of days ago, her lawyer said, we are no longer protecting that list. So if the courts want to release that list to the public, we have no argument with that. There are going to be some politicians, some well to do people that are absolutely shaking in their boots right now, because that very well could be released. Virginia, uh, I can't ever say her last name, Guilfoyle. She, no, that's wrong. That's that's someone else. Never mind. But Virginia, one of the main plaintiffs in this case, she also has been pushing to release that list. So it's going to be interesting. I think this is good. This is some heads rolling. This is, a little like a few years ago in Hollywood when they finally started busting some of the old guard that were so well known for sexually assaulting young women, or and using sex as a tool to get women to do what they wanted. I don't think Tom Hanks is on the list. I really don't. That was some other stuff. But I think some politicians on both sides of the aisle will be on there. I think everybody should be prepared to put your biases aside and hold anyone accountable that's on it. Yeah, for sure. Yep. The Royals did cut him off as a senior Royal, but he should be in jail. 100%. 10 out of 10. Okay. Well, let's move on. Maybe he will be. Well, he won't. This is criminal. This is not criminal. It's civil. But this civil case could lead to some criminal charges for him, I think. Because they did cut him off and now he's fighting this as a private citizen, he could actually be extradited. No, I still seriously doubt that the US will prosecute a member of the royal family, but they should. Yep. Okay, let's move on to Fairy Tale Tarot. So, every month, right as close as we can get to the full moon, we pull a card from the Fairy Tale Tarot deck by Lisa Hunt and we read the fairy tale. So, the question I asked when I pulled the card was, what do we need to know for this full moon cycle? I think we maybe have read this story before. I'm not sure. It seems kind of familiar. It's the Princess of Wands. So this is a girl riding a billy goat. She has a wooden spoon in her hand. There's lots of wild, craggy trees around her. She's got all this wild hair and her cloak, and she looks pretty cool to me. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's take a look at the story. So the story is called Tatterhood. It's from Norway. The key words are creative energy, determination, self confidence, and being adventurous. I like that for this full moon cycle. That's kind of how I'm feeling. Like I said, somebody needs a passport or a puppy or both. Now you got to choose. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a queen who desperately wanted a child. She tried to ease her sadness by allowing children to play in the courtyard below her window. From there, she would watch and while away wistful hours, yearning for a child of her own. One day, she saw a little beggar girl mingling with the other children. The queen yelled out, "You can't play here. This courtyard belongs to royal children only." The little girl looked up and replied, "If you knew the power of my mother, you would not be so quick to send me off. She knows how you could have a child." The queen was suddenly gentler and requested the presence of her mother. It wasn't long before the child's wise mother stood before the queen. "Is this true?" Tell me, how may I have a child? Requested the queen eagerly. The mother smiled and revealed the secret. You must take 2 pails of water and wash yourself with it. Put the pails under your bed, and in the morning you shall see 2 flowers growing, one ugly and one beautiful. Eat the beautiful flower. So let me get this straight. You're going to wash yourself, and then you're going to eat something that grew out of the bathwater. Hard pass. Okay. The queen did everything as instructed and found 2 flowers in the morning. But, big surprise, instead of eating the beautiful flower only, in her eagerness, she devoured both. Greed. How many times, man? How many times? Not long after, the queen gave birth to twins. One was beautiful and glowing, the other looked wild and unkempt. The wild looking child, appropriately named Tatterhood, was a free spirit who rode around on a goat, wore tattered clothing, and carried a wooden spoon. She hardly looked like a princess. I'm thinking she's my kind of kid. One night there was a ruckus in the parlor. When Tatterhood discovered trolls in their midst, she set out to drive them away. She marched into the parlor and whacked the trolls with her wooden spoon. But before she realized it, one of the trolls had snuck through the door and found Tatterhood's sister waiting outside. The troll pulled her head off and stuck a calf's head in place. Then the trolls fled with their prize. Oh, Tatterhood beseeched her parents to provide her with a sailboat and provisions for a long trip. She set out with her cow headed sister. How many times in junior high did you want to call your sister a cow? Okay. She set sail with her cow headed sister and arrived at a land inhabited by Fae. She trotted on her goat to a castle and saw her sister's head placed like a trophy upon a mantel. A party of trolls was giggling and dancing, unaware that Tatterhood was spying on them from outside. She leapt through the window and beat the trolls so hard that they bumped into each other, screaming, howling, and finally stumbling into a heap of confusion. I don't know if you guys have ever been smacked by a wooden spoon, but I can hear it. I can feel this. Yeah. Yeah. They pulled the pretty one's head off, but she lived. She lived because they replaced her head with a cow's head. Who knew? Okay. All right. So she beats the trolls up. Oh, in the chaos, Tatterhood took her sister's head and brought it back to the ship. She promptly put it back in its proper place, much to her sister's relief. No longer a big cow. I don't know, maybe. The twins sailed on for many years. When they arrived at a far off kingdom, she had her sister hide herself in the cabin. Tatterhood climbed on her goat and rode wildly about the boat. The king of the land stood watching from his castle and immediately sent messengers to the beach. When Tatterhood demanded to see their king, he complied and went to meet the strange girl. When he saw her beautiful sister, he fell completely in love. He escorted the twins to the castle and had them treated like royalty. He finally asked Tatterhood's sister for her hand in marriage. No, interrupted Tatterhood, not unless your son marries me. Okay, why not? The king readily agreed. On the day of the wedding, the twins rode alongside their future husbands. Tatterhood was a sight to see, with her wild mane blowing. She rode her goat, while her future husband looked at her curiously from the saddle of his steed. As they traveled, Tatterhood broke the silence and told her future husband to say something. Her husband looked at her impishly and said, Why do you ride a goat? What goat? I am riding a beautiful steed, replied Tatterhood. And when the prince looked again, His eyes grew wide with surprise. She was riding a fine horse. Why do you carry that spoon? He asked inquisitively. What spoon? This is my wand, said Tatterhood. The prince's mouth fell open. The spoon had transformed into a shimmering, bejeweled wand. Why then do you choose to wear tattered clothing? Asked the prince more boldly. I'm about to ask myself why I want to have a fat butt. Maybe I won't. Huh? Maybe I'll just say I don't, and there you go. All right. I like this kind of manifesting. Here we go. I wear a beautiful gown embroidered with the finest gold thread, boasted Tatterhood. And when the prince gazed at his betrothed, he saw the most beautiful woman in the world. After arriving at the castle, the twins were married, and a glorious celebration ensued. All of the folk and fae watched the procession and cheered as the princesses, with their husbands by their sides, led the parade. And there you go. Symbols and meaning. The disheveled girl is a metaphor of free spiritedness. Her hair is full of energy. Red cape breathes life as it moves in the wind. The goat is carefree and lives in the moment. It prances enthusiastically over icy patches that signify individuality. The owl swoops down on a branch. It is the wise messenger from higher consciousness. The three pine cones suggest deliberate action and opportunity for redemption. The trolls in the background lurk in the shadows of the unconscious but are unable to influence the determined girl. The pine trees are enduring, their roots twirling in continued motion. The squirrel has tendencies as it hoards the acorns, it warns of the challenges ahead. This is an opportunity to go after your dreams and desires with fiery ambition. Nothing should stop you from moving forward and implementing a plan of action, but be open to spontaneous events that may serve your cause in productive ways. I love this. So ultimately, if we can use Miss Tatterhood as an inspiration for the next 2 weeks, do what you want. Believe the best about yourself. Manifest and create what you want. Make a plan. Let's not sit back. We've been sitting back waiting for 2 years for something to happen. I think we're all tired of it. Be safe, be smart, but take action. Love this story. Love it, love it. Yeah. All right. I'm realizing that we're going to run out of time if we don't get straight to Kathleen's book. So again, we're using this book like for bibliomancy. Wow. And I agree, Sid. That was awesome. The best. So I'm going to just flip to a page. That's how you do bibliomancy. Just asking, what do we need to know this week? And we'll let this be a message from the archangels or light beings and from our dear Kathleen. Oh, I shut the whole book. That doesn't work. Okay. No. One more page. Come on. Lakshmi. I offer my assistance in creating abundance in your life. I will help you find careers that will be fulfilling and lucrative. Wealth is something that many of you desire, but what you don't think about is that gaining wealth without something that you love leaves you feeling empty. Wealth in and of itself is not fulfilling. However, wealth is not a problem. For most of you, it is the opposite. Most of you have some strange ideas about wealth, especially if you are involved in work that is either spiritually based or in a helping profession. I am here to tell you that this is a conflict that needs to be resolved within you. Your belief that you cannot make money when you are helping others is a mistaken belief. We in the other realms want you to know that when you charge for your services, you move toward a position where you can do the work you love and help others on a full time basis. Most of you keep yourself in jobs or situations for security reasons, and yet fail to request even a living wage for the services you provide to others. I'm here to support you in your desire to be paid what you are worth and let you know that to request and even exchange for your services is what is money is all about. Money has an energy of its own. So when you accept money for your services, it is an energy exchange between you and the person for whom you provided service. It is time for all of you to realize that you are worthy of wealth and abundance in all ways. Call on me, and I will help you find a career which will support your beliefs, is fulfilling, and will create wealth beyond your wildest imagination. All of this while living in a state of peace and joy. No more stressing about how you're going to pay your bills or if you'll be able to finally quit the job that you hate. I will help you serve others if that is your wish and to be comfortable financially. Do not rely solely on your mind. I do not want you to dismiss your mind totally, but I do want you to go within and know that everything you desire is already within you, waiting to manifest into your physical reality. Many of you are saying, yes, but I do affirmations and I do visualize and I do everything that I can to create wealth and a fulfilling life, but it doesn't work. I hear you say, I've heard all of this before and I'm still stuck and I'm still worried and I still don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I say to you, look at these thoughts and what do you see? Your beliefs that everything must be a struggle, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to work hard for the money, and tension and stress are a part of what it takes to earn a good living, are all things that affect your ability to manifest that which you desire. These beliefs are self limiting. These beliefs are what holds you back from having the life you desire. Call on me, and I will help you release these limiting beliefs so that you can open your heart and trust that you are meant to share in the abundance of the universe. Trust that you are meant to live your life to the fullest in every way, because the more you live your life to the fullest, the more you can help others to find their way. Can you give up the worry, the despair, and the fear? I will assist you in releasing these feelings. Open your hearts and your minds to all that you deserve and be receptive. Trust that you already have within you everything you desire to manifest and that you are capable of manifesting this into physical reality. You are God made manifest. Therefore, you are capable of co creating whatever you desire. Call on me, and I will help you. I send you blessings, love, and abundance in every facet of your life. I offer my assistance in creating an abundant, joyful life. Just ask and know that I will come with joy in my heart to be able to help. It is my honor to serve you in whatever way I can. And that, of course, is the goddess Lakshmi. So thank you, Kathleen, and thank you, Lakshmi, for that. That was a perfect message. Love it. I agree, Sheila. Absolutely beautiful. Well, guys, we've done what we do. We have talked down to the very end of the show. I want to remind you that I am a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com, and I am there every day. So if you need any help at all, come and talk to me. Let's work it out. Let's do what we can. And of course, you'll find me all over here, social media and, podcasting and doing what I do. So let's stay in touch. And of course, I'll be back next week, same place, same time. You have been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.